It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, my friends, remember the good times we had at the Helping Hands Telethon? Everyone would get together, Charlie Prose, Johnny Seaman, and all of the entertainers, Johnny Morato and his group. And everyone's there. They had a lot of fun. But the most important thing was the money that was raised went to Helping Hands. For those of you who are watching who are not familiar with Helping Hands, we're going to give you a little idea of what it means to northeastern Pennsylvania, not only to the greater Hazleton area. But the telethon was an opportunity for people to enjoy themselves and make donations. Well, because of unfortunate COVID-19, they no longer had the telethon. So now we're starting something called the Mail-A-Thon. And we're going to explain to you what the Mail-A-Thon was. But let me go back a little bit. I remember when we did the telethon, I did a Sam Lesante show on location at Helping Hands, and there's 301 Rocky Road in Hazleton. And on that location, what we did is we talked to the teachers, we talked to John Seaman, we talked to the young children who were there, and you got a feel for what Helping Hands really does and how very important it is for these young children. And since then, it's expanded. So we're able to say when you gave $50 or $100 or $1,000 or whatever, you saw where all that money went. And the money stays right here to help these young people. The question is, when you're touching someone's lives, and you're going to see a little handsome boy today on our show, you're touching someone's lives and it makes you feel good. And there's sometimes we spend money ridiculously or whatever. What we're asking today is that you participate and donate to help additional children. And it helps all walks of life. And you're going to find out that Helping Hands has a lot more going for it than at the time that I did the Sam Lesante show. So with that being said, we're going to have information on the screen. We only have one break today in the show. I want to thank John Rogers for being a sponsor of this show today. Attorney John Rogers called and said, whatever we have to do, Sam, to help them out, I'm here to help, and we appreciate that. Now, joining us today is Mary Beth Cook, who is the Executive Director of Helping Hands, and we have a handsome guy on this show, Ethan Kerr Vacosa, right? I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
And a good friend of mine, Tracy Kress. The Kress family has been extremely helpful in donating many thousands of dollars throughout the year, helping a lot of people. And so I want to welcome all of you on the show, okay? Mary Beth, so nice to see you.
Well, same to you. Very good to see you always. And I would like to thank you for having us here. And again, John Rogers, he's also our board president, who I just works at the speed of lightning.
Does he drive you crazy, though?
People say, oh my gosh, like, he is one of the best people I know. He believes in that our society so much,
100%.
and he should, and works very hard, as well as the whole entire board and the CHIPS members. We have a great board, and they all work. They all work. We work together, and some, have to do it from a distance. Some actually physically at the building, but they're a wonderful board of directors.
Everyone was affiliated with Helping Hands that I saw. People like you and the teachers and everyone has compassion and a passion for what they do. It's not like a job for them. They are seeing what they're. So Helping Hands, what is involved? Because it's expanded since I did the show many years ago.
I mean, I always say it's for the staff at Helping Hands, it's a calling, not a career.
Absolutely.
Because it is.
Yes.
You're certainly not going to get rich working there, but you do. You get rich spiritually and in other ways. And I believe that goodness comes back to all of us. And we have made so many good friends along the way. But now I mean, I don't think people realize, not everyone realizes, that we actually do pretty much everything there. We take children from infancy, like if there's crawling issues, they're afraid, maybe they're not speaking or babbling, or maybe they have physical or, cognitive delays, things like that. So we take children from infancy, and then they would follow along in our programs. They would go to the infant program, then to the early preschool, then the preschool program. If they still need our services, once they're out of preschool and on their way to kindergarten, we have an academic helper program, which you did a big show on many years ago for us, and that's for school-age children who are having difficulty in school. It's a program based on visual perception. So we do pretty much everything. We have outpatient therapies, outpatient speech therapy. We have behavior management counselor for our children. We have the huge playground, which for the children it's just fun, but I know he likes it. But it's developmentally productive for the children as well. So, we try to take care of all the needs.
And looking for, I know the telethon was a great money maker for you. Okay.
Oh,
and so,
yes.
In order to supplement what you're doing, is I see here, and the address, folks, will be on the screen, and a phone number. We could, if you want to call and ask about Helping Hands, if you may want to have someone go there, but there's different sponsorships. And I remember doing a show here with Sister Sponsa. I'm going back 13, 14 years ago. She was a person similar to what Helping Hands is, but only in Africa, where they take these children who are unwanted, and they would take them and bring them in. And she was asking people to donate. And there was one person who was watching, very, very fortunate person, well-to-do, and he sent her a $10,000 check.
Wow.
And I'm just saying that, how this person called and said, look, I heard Sister Sponsa, and I know that my money is going to mean something, and it's going to help these innocent kids that didn't ask for that, okay? Now, certainly, we're asking for donations, but sometimes a person...
We take 10,000 too.
Yeah,
We'll
I
take
know
that.
you would, and we'd love to have that. But there's some people that have been blessed, okay,
Yes.
and with good fortunes, and they want to give their money to some places that they know is going to help. I couldn't think of a better place, believe me, in the years I've been doing this, to see what you guys do and all the children that you helped.
Well, and that's a very good point, and I hope, if the public doesn't understand that they will now, after seeing the show. The dollars stay here. They are locally for Helping Hands. And it's not to say that we can't help children that we may get a call from Wilkes-Barre. So we've had people drive 45 minutes to go to the academic helper program. We have people from surrounding areas. We will help any child, but we are local. The money stays there. It does not go to big salaries. We try to keep, with the building that's and the playground, and there's so much going on.
And that was the sad part, because the telethon was such a major force of income.
It's our biggest by
now
far.
Now we have to do the Mail-A-Thon. Now, if a person wants to give a $1,000 sponsorship, what does that $1,000 sponsorship get them?
Well, we are going to. You mean as far as publicity,
Yeah,
or
no.
what would happen?
What would happen with the $1,000?
Oh my gosh, $1,000. For example, we even say it on the letter that would provide speech therapy, like outpatient speech or speech therapy to a child in preschool that needs it for a year. I mean, just that alone. Our preschool. That's another thing, Sam. We keep our costs down.
Big time.
We have not raised the costs of the programs. I couldn't even tell you. It's got to be 10, 15, at least 15 years. We try to keep it affordable for all, and no one is ever refused because of inability to pay. We work with the parents, the grandparents. We ask when we do fundraising that they please help. If they can't, that's fine too. We are not about money. We are about helping the child and the family, and we always manage to pull through because I think we have helped so many people, and we have a lot of guardian angels up there. A little girl in particular, Adriana Bartle, I'm sure you remember her. It seems like when things go tough, I mean, her picture's in my office, like we survive because people know.
And when you think about the many years of happiness you brought that girl because of Helping Hands, you can't put a dollar value on that.
No, she was amazing.
And there's many of them like that.
Oh, so many. I have George Holloman that when he's been in the Army, he re-enlisted I don't know how many times. Every time he comes home, he'll come up to Helping Hands. The one time we were struggling, he went down to the bank, he emptied his bank account, comes up with $700. I mean, these are the kind of people that you've touched his life. If someone wants to give $100, okay, and so you're looking at supplies. I remember showing different things. So if someone wants to donate $100, that goes to supplies or whatever, things that you need. Well, it goes for everything. I mean, the supplies. I mean, we do get donations from people because the money that comes in, we try to take care of the, supplies being part of it. You have to pay to run the building. We sometimes have to supply shoes. But there's so many costs involved, and you have to pay the staff, even though it's not much. But $100, Sam, I'm telling you, $1. If someone only had $1 to give, that's buying something for our little reward store for the children. There is no donation too small, and certainly none too big.
And talking about helping, let me get to this. Our actor here, Ethan.
Yes.
Vanessa Vicoso.
While he's still dressed.
Yeah, while he's still dressed. Okay.
Come on, you gotta sit. He's gonna
Vanessa,
talk.
Sit with me?
Go by Mary Beth. Go ahead.
Vanessa, tell me about how Helping Hands certainly has helped you out.
So when Ethan was very little, I started to notice some delays at a very young age. He was about 1.5 years when I started to notice that the walking wasn't there. He wasn't really even trying to take any steps at that point, and the speech was not there at all. And I had a family member that attended Helping Hands when he was very little, and I just heard nothing but amazing things about the school. So when he was of age, I looked right into it, and he started going for the very early program. And he was going once a week, and then he turned into the early preschool, and then he went into the preschool class. And ever since then, his speech, we have speech now, and his development in general.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in school all morning too.
Yes.
So
He's been there all morning.
For him to hand stay this long.
And an important thing with Ethan is
She's talking about you. Come
because of his inability to communicate, and the frustration level on him was high.
Yes.
And he would, he's doing typical children. Okay.
I got a shoe. Now,
You want to go with Candace for a break?
I got you a shoe.
Ethan.
Do you want it back?
No, seriously, his behavior has, this seems so silly to say, but his behavior has done a 360.
Yeah.
He is because he was frustrated and angry all the time.
Not being able to
now,
He's been smiling since I
oh,
saw
he's
Yeah.
so happy.
Yeah, and he's a happy little boy.
He sits in school like
Yeah.
a little champ. He does his work.
Well,
But
Ethan.
this is just one of many young people that you've helped. Folks, we're talking to Helping Hands people. They weren't able to have the telethon, but they're starting a Mail-A-Thon now. And if you would like to make a donation, I would love for you to do that. The address is on the screen. You just send a check to Helping Hands Society. It's 301 Rocky Road, Hazleton 18201. Anything would be greatly appreciative. We're going to take a break. We're going to talk to Ethan, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember, 24/7, SSPTV.com and our YouTube channel. Just search SSPTV and watch all of our programs there. Very important show today. You remember the Helping Hands Telethon? It was an opportunity for the Helping Hands organization to raise a lot of money to help many, many children. Well, unfortunately, with COVID-19, the telethon was canceled, and of course, the bills just mount up. So they started a program called the Mail-A-Thon, and they're mailing opportunities for people to sponsor X amount of dollars. If you just tuned in before, we talked about different things that happen to Helping Hands. Mary Beth Cook is the executive director, and we were talking to Vanessa and her beautiful, handsome child, Ethan, and at that time he got a little excited. He didn't like what I was saying, so he threw his shoe at me. And I figured I'd be, and so I could just imagine everyone saying, "You should have hit him," But it's exciting to see how your child has grown and developed,
Yes,
right?
yes,
You
yes.
were telling about how the organization helped so much.
Yes. So within the past few years that he's been attending there, his development has just grown. Like it's been mind-blowing to see it, because like I said, when he was very young, we didn't have much. And now we have about 30 to 40 words in total, and his behavior has gotten so much better too. And I mean, this school is just amazing. I mean, I can't even say anything more than that. Everyone's been so good to him and so loving towards him.
You can see it.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's heartbreaking that he's leaving, because I mean, they're such a huge part of my life now, and his father's, and our family.
That's
and
right.
it's
Well, he can come to the helper.
that's what we're
program.
planning. We're planning on keeping him involved with the school.
Tracy, Chris, first of all, I want to just sit back just a little bit so I can see Tracy. Want to thank you and Joe and the Crest family for all the things that the Crest family has done. Tremendous amount of things. And Joe is the kind of guy who doesn't want to be thanked, but I just want people to know that he's, gets on my nerves, but he's a hell of a guy.
He's a good guy.
Tracy, you had, tell me about your experience with Helping Hands.
Well, I actually had two children that in two different programs at Helping Hands. Harrison was in Helping Hands for the preschool program, which helped him prepare for elementary school. And they did a wonderful job with Harrison. Harrison ended up graduating from MMI with honors. He's in his second year at Drexel. He's an extremely intelligent young man, and Helping Hands did a wonderful job with him. My daughter Juliana, she in elementary school, we noticed that she was kind of struggling with some of her classes. She needed a little sharpening of her memorization skills, and I spoke with Mary Beth about it, and she had suggested that we put her in the helper program. So we did, and that in her academic improvement, she just improved dramatically academically. And again, she also just graduated from MMI with honors, and she got a wonderful scholarship to college. So they're both success stories, and Helping Hands was a huge part of it.
So Helping Hands was a major part of your life, right?
Yes.
And so when you mentioned something that I think was great. You said it's a valuable resource.
Yes.
And if we didn't have Helping Hands, where do you go? You start searching.
We would have probably had to go out of the area for Juliana to get help in that regard. I mean, it's wonderful that it's a local organization, and it helps a lot of our children in the area.
Yeah, and some people who do not have the ability, because we're right now looking to raise money, and you help all kind of people, whether they can afford it or not. If they didn't have that locally here, maybe you wouldn't have been able to send your child, and you would never see the progress that he has. And that's why we stress how important it is. And I said, Tracy, when it affects your life, particularly your children, it's a whole thing. I used to see John Seaman and Charlie Prose, and when you got on board, and how I said to John Seaman, I don't know, you do it. Because I'd be crying, 90% of the time. It touched my heart to see how this Helping Hands touched so many kids.
Because really, I would say most of the stories, and when the children are leaving, they're success stories.
Yes.
Even for children that have severe delays, or, they're still so much better. And the parents, I cannot stress enough. And I want to say too, and I forgot to mention this, we started right back up in the summer. Like we as soon as we were able to go back to school, we did. You cannot teach these children online, off a computer. So the staff really put themselves at risk. They were all, some of them, you know, had health issues, but they were doing it, you know.
So here's the deal. Give a little, help a lot, okay? And it's very simple. We're asking for money. That's exactly what we're doing. We're asking you to help Helping Hands. They could not have the telethon, which is a major source of income, my friends. So just imagine if you have a breadwinner in your home and that breadwinner is stopped and you don't have that major source of income. Well, you're going to look and see whatever you can. So Helping Hands is doing a mail-a-thon, looking from any kind of donations. They have sponsorships here from $100 to $5,000. So we're asking you to give whatever you can, and it's 301 Rocky Road, Hazelton, 18201. Now, just so people know who give, they're going to put the people who participated, they're going to have a thank you, and it'll run in the standing speaker. You do not have to have your name there if you don't want it. I know most of you want to give a donation just not for the praise and glory, but you know, some people, you know, sometimes you want people to know who give what. Excuse me, and also on social media. Excuse me, we will also do it here on Local News 13. We'll bring them to your attention. Anything else that you'd like to add?
Tracy forgot to mention, because she was so impressed with the program, and I was so impressed with her. Really, I didn't know her personally back then. I said, would you please be a board member? I said, you are just the type of person that, like, because you know it. You see what happens. So she became a board member.
Well, if you knew her family, you'd understand why she's so wonderful.
We
okay?
had her dad on that.
Your father,
her mom,
or dad,
Ron J.
they're giving people.
And Rita.
Believe me when I tell you, they're giving people.
And I want to thank, again, the generous public, the CHIPS members, the board members, my beautiful staff, like, cannot say enough about them. And I talked to Charlie Prose just this past week. He is doing well. He's in New Jersey, doesn't perform anymore because he had some issues with the throat. But I talk to him a few times a year. He's doing well. John, I keep in touch with through his brother or his daughter or whoever I can. We haven't been able to see him either.
Well,
you know?
you mentioned before you have a lot of angels up there who are helping.
Yeah.
Folks, I did a show a while back, and when we did it on location, we talked to different teachers and we talked to the students, and they need supplies, they need to operate, they need to heat, you know, the building, and you were able to see where that $50 went, where that $100 went, where the $10 go. We're able to see that, and here again, anything that you can give is so important. I can't stress that enough, because the telethon, again, was a major source of income, and it stopped. And so now, to the board members and all those participating with Helping Hands, they have this, what they call a Mail-A-Thon. Now, it's going to end on September 6th, so I'm hoping I'm going to play the show as much as I can, maybe to touch your heart a little bit and give something.
September 6th, I believe that's Labor Day.
Is that right?
And this is a labor of love.
Yes.
So,
all I could say is, just continue to do the good work that you're doing. And Vanessa, I'm so happy to see that your son has improved.
It's nice to go to work every day and really love.
Enjoy it.
Almost all the time.
Yeah,
To love your job.
And Tracy,
I do.
I want to thank you and your family for as much as you've done. I'm so happy to see that your children are doing well, and thank God they took after you.
Thank you for breaking me into
television
many years ago. I was so nervous.
Listen,
John Seaman
if
said,
anyone could,
anyone
could do the show, I can't. And besides, you get people, young kids who throw shoes at you.
I know.
You see what I mean? Now that's a first over here. Come on
my
back
gosh.
here. Don't throw anything at me now, because
You told me to relax.
I could imagine. Hi, how are you? You're such a handsome guy. Look at the camera and say hi to everybody up there. Okay.
Can you say thank you to everyone?
Thank you.
You're welcome,
There.
sweetheart. You are such a handsome boy. Folks, you can't let these young children down. We really appreciate it if you would give a donation. It's very simple. It's 301 Rocky Road, Hazelton, PA, Anything you give would be deeply appreciated. We're on YouTube. They'll take PayPal. And what else will you take?
They can call.
Okay.
We take credit cards over the phone.
Oh, great.
They can send a check. They can stop by and
Make a donation.
we do have to take their temperature at the door, though.
Okay, well, that's okay.
We do follow all the precautions too. I want people to know that. Even though we were there, we had a social distance. We had a decrease enrollment. You know, the temperature taking, constant sanitizing, which was expensive in itself, but we did what we had to do to stay open. So
It's the Mail-A-Thon, folks. Remember, whatever you give would be appreciated. I want to thank all of you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Sam.
We'll see you next time.